Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive shift happening right now in the digital world. We're looking at Kadada, and they're trying to solve a problem that has literally plagued the internet for over a decade. Basically, who actually gets to keep the value of the stuff we create online? Because for years we've kind of just accepted the status quo, right? The platforms take all the upside. But today we're looking at a fundamental reimagining of how that digital value is captured and distributed. So if you've ever posted, coded, or contributed anything online and thought, wait, who's actually making money off my effort? Well, you're absolutely going to want to pay close attention to this. Let's get right into it.
All right, moving into section 1, the evolution of digital value. We're tracking the journey from mere content creation to actual ownership.
Okay, let's dive into this. For years, the legacy internet ran on a pretty simple and honestly pretty ruthless model. It turned your content into corporate value. I mean, think about the millions of artists, writers, and developers out there. Their raw data and creativity fueled these massive algorithms, while they earned, what, literal pennies? The users essentially became the product. But Kadada is building a whole new framework to fix this wildly asymmetrical relationship. It's moving us past that old extraction model to a system that actually respects the origin of the value.
And that brings us perfectly to section 2, creators owning their value, which is a totally new paradigm.
For so long, it's been the platforms and the middlemen cashing the big checks. So the crucial point is perfectly distilled in this thought right here. A world where creators and contributors actually own a piece of the value they create. Let the weight of that sink in for a second. We're not talking about some digital tip jar here. We're not talking about a monetization program that a platform can just nuke overnight with a sudden terms of service update, which, let's be real, usually happens right after you've finally figured out their algorithm. We're talking about actual structural ownership of your digital footprint. Whether you're a major digital artist, a developer writing code, or just an everyday contributor, this vision proposes a landscape where your input translates into permanent equity.
Let's look at how this actually works in section 3, reshaping the digital economy, the engine of change.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly how we shift from extraction to ownership. You need specific structural changes, right? And this new economy basically boils down to 3 core functional steps. Step 1, immutable lineage. Your name is etched into the digital DNA of your work forever. It can't be altered, it can't be erased. Step 2, fair royalty sharing. Because that lineage is permanently locked in, royalties are distributed transparently based on your actual input, not just some mysterious black box algorithm. And step 3, automatic payouts. No more waiting 90 days for a check or relying on some admin team to do the math. The system sees the usage and just triggers the payout automatically. So that's lineage, sharing, and payouts. When you combine those 3 mechanisms, you fundamentally reshape digital economies for good. By cutting out those rent-seeking middlemen and guaranteeing automatic compensation, you literally change the underlying incentives of the entire internet. And why does this matter so much? Well, because when creators are actually tangibly rewarded for their input, you foster this landscape of way deeper collaboration and infinitely better creation. It's like a real game changer. It turns the web from a zero-sum game into a thriving, self-sustaining loop. Which leads us to our final part, section 4, exploring the future now, the build phase. It is incredibly easy to talk about immutable data and new paradigms and feel like we're just discussing the plot of a sci-fi novel. But actually, scratch that. This isn't some distant theoretical dream. The future is being built right now. The architecture is actively being developed, and Kadada is literally laying the bricks for this new economy of ownership today. For anyone out there paying attention, this is the ground floor.
Which brings me to a question directly from our source material that I want to ask you. Are you already curious about the future? After seeing the stark contrast between that old extractive internet and a totally new system of guaranteed lineage and fair payouts, honestly, it's pretty hard not to be. If you're a creator, a developer, or just someone who spends a decent amount of time online, the very architecture of your digital life is shifting. So, if that curiosity is sparked, your next step is to explore #Kadada. Dive into the source material, check out the community, and see them building this for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I'm going to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. If the next decade of the internet is going to be defined by true ownership rather than corporate extraction, what are you going to own?